There are some people in this world who walk differently. Their presence carries light, their silence carries authority, and their energy carries both healing and warning. These are the chosen ones, souls handpicked by the divine for a higher purpose. They are not ordinary, and neither is their protection. When you cross paths with them, you are not just interacting with flesh and blood, you are dealing with divine assignment. Many have learned the hard way that to touch what God has chosen is to invite what your spirit cannot handle. This message is not about fear, it's about awareness. When you understand spiritual hierarchy, you learn to move with reverence. Before we go deeper, take a moment. If this message has reached you at the exact time you needed it, that's no coincidence. Type 1111 in the comment section for divine blessings and confirmation that this message was meant for you. And if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe to this channel, because messages like these don't just entertain, they awaken your soul. This is your reminder that spiritual wisdom can protect your peace, your health, and even your life. Now, let's uncover the 9 things in a chosen one's life you should never mess with if you still want to live long. 1. Their peace. A chosen one's peace is not ordinary calm, it's sacred stillness. It is the invisible sanctuary where divine whispers are heard, where the voice of God is clearest, and where revelation flows like living water. It's not the kind of peace that depends on silence in the world around them, but silence within. When you disturb that stillness through gossip, drama, or emotional manipulation, you are not just agitating their mood, you are interrupting a conversation between the divine and the vessel. Their peace is the frequency where heaven downloads instruction. When you bring chaos into that atmosphere, you interfere with their ability to receive direction for themselves and for others connected to them. That's why the universe guards their tranquility so fiercely. When people attempt to disrupt it, life begins to turn on them in strange, unexplainable ways. Confusion in their plans, emotional turmoil, and spiritual unrest. Those who plot to steal the peace of the chosen often wake up surrounded by the same confusion they try to plant. It's not coincidence, it's consequence. The chosen one's peace is their power, their shield, their compass, and their secret weapon. To disturb it is to touch the sacred, and the sacred always responds. 2. Their sleep. Chosen ones are not just dreamers, they are warriors in the spirit realm. When they sleep, their bodies rest, but their souls engage in divine assignments. In their dreams they receive visions, instructions, warnings, and healing. Some intercede for others while their physical body lies still. This is why their rest carries a supernatural charge. When you interrupt a chosen one's sleep, whether through envy, psychic interference, or dark intention, you are not merely disturbing a person's rest, you are challenging a guarded gate. Their sleep is surrounded by heavenly protection, and their dreams are guarded communication lines between heaven and earth. Angels stand watch over their beds, and unseen hands write mysteries in their minds. Any attempt to invade that space triggers spiritual backlash. Those who mock or spiritually attack a chosen one while they sleep often find themselves battling insomnia, anxiety, and restlessness, not realizing they touch something holy. Rest is their renewal, their recharge, their nightly appointment with heaven. Disrupt that, and life itself will begin to disrupt your comfort. Never forget, a chosen one's sleep is not an escape, it is their spiritual battleground and their place of divine encounter. 3. Their purpose. Every chosen one carries a divine assignment that was written long before their birth. Their existence is not random, it is strategic. Their gifts, their pain, their experiences, even their detours, are all woven into a grander design orchestrated by the Creator Himself. Trying to block, delay, or destroy a chosen one's purpose is like standing in front of a moving train expecting mercy. The path of destiny is fueled by divine force, and it doesn't stop for human opposition. When you attempt to sabotage their calling, speak against their progress, or manipulate circumstances to dim their light, you are directly opposing God's blueprint. The universe begins to rearrange itself to protect the mission, People who interfere with a chosen one's assignment find themselves mysteriously removed, exposed, or replaced. Destiny is not fragile, it is fierce. It cannot be delayed beyond divine permission. Even when the chosen stumble, the Creator redirects them. Their steps are ordered, their story is sealed. You may think you've succeeded in derailing them, but life will turn in their favor again. The more you resist their purpose, the more resistance you create in your own. It's safer to bless them, not block them, because destiny always wins. 4. Their finances. To most people, money is just currency, but for a chosen one, it is an instrument of purpose. Their finances are spiritually linked to their mission on earth. Their wealth is meant to sustain not only their needs, but also the work they are called to do, to build, to bless, to heal, to uplift others. When you steal from a chosen one, when you scam them, or intentionally obstruct their opportunities, you are not simply taking from a person. You are tampering with divine resources assigned to fulfill a heavenly project. That kind of interference carries heavy spiritual consequence. Many who have tried to exploit a chosen one financially have later experienced strange losses, unexpected car breakdowns, medical bills, or financial droughts that seem to come from nowhere. Why? Because what you take unjustly from a chosen one multiplies as spiritual debt. Their money flows with divine instruction, and when it's blocked, heaven compensates them in ways that often humble those who wronged them. Their provision may seem delayed, but it's never denied. The source that funds their destiny never runs dry. Understand this: the finances of a chosen one are sacred, and those who mishandle that flow invite lack into their own life. 5. Their relationships. When two chosen souls connect, heaven celebrates, because divine partnerships accelerate destiny. Whether it's a friendship, mentorship, family bond, or romantic union, chosen ones attract connections that serve purpose, not popularity. Their relationships are not random, they are divine alignments designed to strengthen their mission. When someone becomes an instrument of division, spreading lies, sowing discord, or playing emotional games to break those unions, the consequences are swift. You are not just tearing people apart, you are interrupting divine choreography. Heaven defends connections that were ordained before time began. That's why those who conspire to break chosen connections often face exposure, shame, or sudden downfall. These relationships carry power. They birth ideas, heal wounds, and shift atmospheres. When you fight against them, you're not fighting humans, you're fighting alignment. And alignment is protected by the hand of God. It's better to honor what you don't understand than to tamper with what heaven has joined. The chosen's relationships are sacred mirrors reflecting their purpose. Anyone who throws stones at them will find themselves breaking their own reflection. 6. Their name. A chosen one's name is not just a label, it is a vibration, a divine signature encoded with spiritual power. Every time their name is spoken, it carries energy that moves through realms, echoing in places both seen and unseen. When you speak their name with respect, blessings flow toward you. But when you speak it falsely, when you gossip, slander, or use it in curses, you release energy that circles back to its sender multiplied. The name of a chosen one is sealed in divine light. It carries the weight of purpose and the resonance of destiny. This is why their names often carry favor, even in rooms where they are not present. When their name is mentioned, doors open, hearts shift, and unseen forces begin to move in their favor. Those who attempt to stain that name often end up staining their own reputation instead. The universe has a perfect way of balancing dishonor. Every word sent out returns home, carrying either blessing or burden. So before you speak a chosen one's name, understand that you are touching something sacred. To misuse it is to call judgment upon yourself. Words are energy, and energy never dies, it only multiplies. And the name of a chosen one is not just heard on earth, it's recorded in heaven. Those who rise against it will always taste the bitterness of their own venom, for every tongue that rises against them will eventually confess that light cannot be cursed. 7. Their boundaries. Many mistake a chosen one's gentleness for weakness. They assume that because the chosen forgives easily, they can be walked over endlessly. But what most fail to realize is that when a chosen one draws a line, that line is not made of ego, it is made of divine instruction. Their boundaries are not fences of pride, they are fortresses of wisdom. The spirit within them teaches discernment, guiding them to protect the spaces where peace and power dwell. When you disrespect their limits, you're not just disobeying a person, you're disobeying a divine directive. Chosen ones have learned through pain that not everyone deserves access to their energy. Their silence, their distance, and their no's are all spiritual acts of preservation. When you keep forcing your way into areas they've closed off, the universe itself begins to push you out. Life has a way of teaching those who can't respect sacred boundaries through painful detours, betrayal, exposure, or sudden rejection. The chosen's boundaries protect their peace, their purpose, and their anointing. To cross them is to enter a spiritual danger zone. Respecting a chosen one's limits is a form of honoring the divine blueprint they live by. If you cannot honor their no, you are not ready to sit in the presence of their yes. 8. Their anointing. The anointing of a chosen one is not something they earned by works or reputation. It is a sacred gift bestowed upon them by divine election. It flows like oil from heaven, marking them as set apart, empowered, and divinely covered. Through that anointing, they heal, awaken, uplift, and even protect others without realizing it. Their presence shifts atmospheres, their words carry energy that breaks chains. When you mock, belittle, or compete with a chosen one's gift, you are not mocking them, you are mocking the giver. That's why many who laugh at chosen ones publicly end up facing private storms that humble their pride. The anointing cannot be faked, duplicated, or diluted. It exposes lies, silences manipulation, and reverses dark intentions. When you try to imitate or interfere with a chosen one's grace, life begins to reveal who carries truth and who carries performance. The oil upon their life is divine insurance. It covers them in storms, and it repays every act of injustice. Many have tried to tarnish a chosen one's light, only to find that their own darkness became visible in the process. The anointing is holy fire. Touch it carelessly, and you will burn. Honor it, and you'll be blessed by its glow. 9. Their silence. Never mistake a chosen one's silence for weakness, indifference, or defeat. Their quietness is not the absence of reaction, it's the presence of divine strategy. When a chosen one goes silent, heaven begins to speak on their behalf. Their silence is not passive, it is powerful. It is the space where angels are dispatched, where spiritual judgments are written, and where divine justice begins to take shape. When they stop explaining themselves and withdraw, that is when their prayers begin to echo in unseen dimensions. Every word they choose not to say becomes an arrow in the spirit. This is why provoking a chosen one into reaction is dangerous. When they choose silence, they're no longer fighting you in the flesh, heaven is. The spiritual realm listens when they stop talking. Their absence carries weight, and their stillness stirs divine motion. Those who continue to provoke, gossip, or mock during that silence often find their own peace evaporating, their paths blocked, and their voices unheard. The chosen one's silence is divine communication, a sacred pause before breakthrough or judgment. It's their way of letting the Creator respond. And when heaven speaks, every false word falls to dust. Never underestimate a chosen one's quiet. That's when God is the loudest. The world may not always recognize a chosen one, but heaven always does. They walk through fire and don't burn because their mission is not yet complete. To mess with their life is to wrestle with divine order itself, and that's a battle no mortal can win. Protect your peace, move with humility, and learn to honor those whose energy feels different. This is the Chosen Seer channel. If this message resonated deeply with you, if you felt it in your spirit, type 1111 in the comments to receive divine alignment and protection. And don't forget to subscribe for more messages that awaken, protect, and empower your soul. The chosen are rising, and this time, heaven is backing every step they take. Thank you for watching.